Hey everyone, how are you? Lovely to connect with you again. It's been a while since I've been on, and I was just sitting at the beach and I thought I wanted to come on, share a few things, say hello, tell you that I'm still going to be over here. I haven't been on for a while because there's been lots of physical transformations and happening in my life, and so I wanted to just say that I am still going to continue to do videos over here. The last couple of videos I did was asking if you guys still wanted me to, if you're getting anything from my videos over here, and I had some beautiful comments, thank you, and I took that on board, and I'm like, yeah, I'm still going to do some over here. So thank you for commenting underneath those that did. It really helps me to see if it's worth being over here, like if I'm helping. And so I thought I'd just come on, no makeup, I've got a bit of a cold, so I'm all puffy, but I don't care. I just wanted to come on and say hi. And this is natural, right? and just share a few things with you and say hello. I've been going through a lot of physical transformations as well, so and relocating. I've been packing up to relocate myself, and so there's been lots going on, and in the midst of that I haven't been able to really say anything, but I'd been staying with my mother and helping her move. So she had a huge transformation in after many decades selling and moving from her house, and it was a really long sort of ongoing saga, as things can be when you're selling and moving. A lot of packing up, many decades of, if you've got elderly parents, you probably know what I'm talking about. If you think, oh gosh, if I had to help them move or do that whole transition with them. And so we have had lots of physical changes, and as well as, oh my God, how powerful is all these energies been the last couple of months, and it's just getting heightened and more intense and more intense and more intense. But I feel that this is the energy that is really pushing, like what I've seen with the physical transformation over the last few months with us. I have seen spirit showing up in all different ways to really keep pushing to what is meant to be happening. And sometimes we can get tired, or we'll feel like we're in that void period, right, where we feel like, oh, what's happening? Like, am I really meant to go there, or am I meant to go here? Where's my soul guiding me? What are we meant to do? Is this meant to is it really going to work? There's there'd been blocks and all sorts of things, and you wonder what's happening. But and at the time you don't know why, but as time moves on, you can see why that happened for this to now happen, or why something that was blocked back then because it wasn't meant to happen then, it was perfect timing to happen now. And that's why we don't get it at the time, but you do see it months later. And this has always been my life for me. Like, I'll see, and I always think when something's happening and it's not working out, or it's not quite that timing going through, or whatever, I'm like, okay, there's a bigger picture at the end of this. And if we wait and just go through that process and not rush it and just give it up and let it go, we just know then that we find out months later, oh, okay, yeah, this is the timing that it was meant to be. So that is one thing that I just wanted to say too, is that if things are happening in your life like that, and you're ready for change, and you're ready to move forward, and you know what you want, but you're feeling this sort of like, why isn't it happening now, or why is this void, then there's always a reason. And so this has kind of been my life the last 6 months, I guess, of where these things have been happening. And now I'm in a position for the first time in many years where I'm like, oh wow, like there is nothing holding me back. I have many options and many choices, and it's just me. I don't have to be I don't have anyone codependent on me, or anyone that is that I need to be there for, or help, or a situation, or I might have already started and now I'm in the middle of it, so I've got to kind of see it out, or whatever it is, whatever choice I've made. So I know we always have choices, and we can always walk away from a situation at any given time, and I could have done that, but again, I was at the time, all these things, and this is what happens to us when we're in it, we're working through our inner blocks, we're working through any childhood traumas or any thing that has pushing us to, it's kind of like spirit saying, well, you can make this choice and have your freedom. You can make this choice and go where your heart is. You can make this choice and do this, that, and the other. Or are you going to stay where you are? And it's constantly showing you. For me, I made a choice that I knew. I'm like, yes, I know that that is my choice, and I know that I'm here at this time, and I'm going to see this through, which I did, because I knew it was only a few months. And so things sometimes happen like that. But in any given, divine timing is when you're ready. So there's a lot of, in the spiritual community particularly, there's a lot of narrative and talk around divine timing and what it means. And I noticed this years ago. I'm like, everyone talks about divine timing as if it's some spirit guided thing where the universe or spirit, God, creator, whatever you want to say, is saying, you know, no, that's not going to happen now because Kellie or, you know, Mary or Jane or Tom, Dick and Harry, we want that to happen for them at this time or this, you know, whatever. It's not like that. Divine timing is when you will follow your divine will. Your free will and divine will are the same thing, but in the physical 3D world, we call our free will the ego that will follow those old looping cycles, patterns, and our 3D usually runs the show and drives the car. You know, we usually use our ego to be our GPS and not our soul and our heart. So so when we're talking about divine, and this is interesting, I didn't even know what I was going to talk about today, honestly. I just came on to say hi, and here I am. So this is coming through to talk about. But I realized many years ago that free will is free will. There is really no free will. Okay, it's divine will. And if your free will is guiding you by ego to be on a different timeline, do something different, whatever, to what your soul path is and your soul timeline, your highest timeline for your soul is, then what will happen is your divine will always intervene. You know, your higher self, spirit, whatever you want to call it, your divine will always intervene and guide you back on to the right path, guide you back on to your soul path. So for me, there is free will, I guess, in a way that you could say it exists, that we will choose, but it will never work because your divine will, spirit, your higher self will always push you. There'll always be blocks if you're not in the right, you'll never feel free or that bliss energy or happiness. I mean, happiness is within, as you know, but if we're always choosing from our ego out of wounding, out of conditioning, programming, fear, doubt, shame, insecurities, all of those things, limiting beliefs, then that is not living free from our soul and our heart, living free from ego. That is not living divine will. Okay, we're going to be living, and everyone goes, oh, we've got free will. It's a really the narrative behind that is incorrect, you know, and it steers people in the wrong path. So how did I even get onto that? So with so divine timing, that's what I was talking about. So with divine timing, it's never about when the universe is always ready to bring you whatever. It's when you're ready to receive it, what you want, when you're ready. So divine timing is you. It's when you're ready to get rid of those ego wounds, limiting beliefs, everything, the stories. When you're ready to follow your soul path, it's divine timing. If things aren't showing up and you're not on the path you want or the timeline you want, or you're not, things are not happening in your life how you want, it's because the divine timing is you not showing up ready for that. You may not be open to receive it. You may be still in fear. You may still be running old stories, old patterns, old programs. So that is what divine timing is. And I've worked with several women over the years that would say, oh, I'm fine, I'm just going to sit back, and it all in divine timing, and I would work with them, and I'd say, it's the reason they wouldn't do the work because they were just waiting for the universe to deliver and didn't realize that they were blocked and wouldn't do the work. And I would say, it's divine timing is you, when you will do the work and you'll do your inner child work, and you'll release those blocks, and you'll look at them, and you'll face them, and you'll change the way you live, and you'll see your limiting beliefs and all the rest of it. I said, and you start to free yourself up from all of that. I said, then that's divine timing. So so I don't even know why I was going to talk about that today. I didn't even know I was going to talk about that, but obviously it needed to be said. Someone may need to hear this today, but that's about divine timing. So, these energies, sometimes, and I knew that I was blocking my divine timing. I was, over here doing what I was doing, but at the same time, it's an awareness. So if you can have an awareness, you can still be very awake and aware to what's going on, and make a choice to go, okay, well, I'll just finish this off, or I just want to, whatever. And that's your own choice. It may not be the wisest choice, or it's let's say it is it's kind of an interruption to a delayed path. So your path will be a little bit delayed, because like anything, until we're ready to let go. But at the same time, there were several things that I was working through, and reasons why I was delaying myself, that I knew were helping me heal and helping me go into greater, deeper healing around certain issues and wounds and things. So and I've been doing my inner healing work for like 14 years now, deeply, like my whole life, I suppose you can say, but like awake to actually be doing it for like over 14 years. So we're always learning and growing, and even to that extent, but I have, that's the thing, I feel like, I don't know if any of you guys are feeling this, it's like with these energies, I feel like I'm up here watching things go around, going on around me, like even family around me or other people. I'm observing so much, including myself. It's like I'm not really in my own self. I'm observing it, you know what I mean, and making choices from that place of that awareness, and just totally unconditional. Like I'm not judging myself for making that choice. I'm not saying, oh damn, I should have done this instead, or not. I'm just going, okay, right, I chose to do that, and that was an experience, that's how it went. So when you get to that level where you can see it and have that huge awareness, but be able to juggle the two frequencies of the, people sometimes call it 3D, 5D, whatever you want to call it. I don't really label things, but of that higher or lower consciousness is what I kind of tend to say, I suppose, which I suppose is still a label, but that helps people understand where I'm coming from and what I'm talking about. So so when you can still juggle those two, but from a higher consciousness, and make choices from a higher consciousness, just sit in the now and not rush yourself, and really feel what's right for you and do what's right for you. It's honoring and the self-love, and not judge or rush or think I should have done it this way, or I should have done it that way, or whatever. So when you get to that awareness, you can see it playing out, and then what you're actually doing is you kind of might be delaying that higher timeline a bit, but you're not really, because you're shifting to it. And these are all the transitions that need to happen for you to reach that. So how you'll hear social media and everywhere people will talk about upgrades, and which we are, lots of codes coming in, upgrading our cellular data and everything, structure. So all of this, we have to still, cleaning out any of the old vibration, old frequencies, old way of thinking. They're all old energies, clearing that out to then take the leap into the higher timelines. So the next 6 months are very, very important to not be derailed. The next 6 months now, are very important to stay on. Well, stay on track is what I want to say, but it's like there's going to be like puppeteers around us. I wrote on Instagram about this the other day. There's going to be like people around us that will be still playing in the old, like the backdroppers. Pardon me, they'll be not in a higher awareness. Not everyone is here to shift into the higher consciousness and live from that place and be aware and alert and responsive and act from that place. So there'll be a lot what I call like backdroppers, and so we have to be aware that all the time consciously that we are in this space of our own energy, our own knowing, our own wisdom, our own sovereignty, our own gifts, everything, and being able to balance the two. So not get derailed, not let anybody or anything come in and put you off path again. These are times in the next 6 months that our quantum jumps forward, quantum leaps forward. Now, everybody is at different stages of their consciousness growth in their path, their spiritual path. And it's not going to turn out the same for everybody, but no matter where you are, whether you're just starting out or you're here or you're up here or wherever you are in your consciousness, everybody is going to shift and move. But of course, not everyone's going to be on the same frequency, the same wavelength, so to speak. So we have to be mindful of that as we're moving with people around us, but also as we are responding to people, and no judgment or anything like that, but just really be careful of yourself, because these are the times where it's so powerful and the energy's intense, and as people are shifting, especially from the lower vibrations, they're going to be shifting out still a lot of, if they're just starting to do their work or whatever, a lot of old programming and patterns. They're going to be triggered. The fuck, they are going to be really triggered. They're going to be triggering out their fear, trying to let go of that, trying to let go of their limiting beliefs, going into doubt, all sorts of stuff, right? All the stuff that you've been going through, we've been going through for years. So that's going to happen. So don't get dragged back into that if you've already gone through that. So if you are triggered, then definitely look at it. You know, they're going to shine the light on that, because everyone's mirrors. But don't go too deep into, like, don't get sucked back into, you know, somebody else's healing. You're in your own, you've done your own work. You know yourself. Just check in with your highest self and your soul. Give yourself more credit for what you hear, and check in yourself as to where you are on your soul path of learning. How much more you feel you've got to heal. And like, I just had a friend say to me 2 days ago, that she is using the next couple of months to really go and do more deep inner healing. She's been healing for years, but she intuitively knows there's more to do, and that's what she's choosing to do. So, you know, don't shy away from that. Don't go into denial with that. If you're feeling that, do it, you know. These are the energies where people, any type of resistance or denial to their path, to their heart, their soul, or anything, that is really going to be hitting them in the face over the next few months, if it hasn't already, because these energies are so high frequency now, and things are coming out, and that's your higher self saying, come on, it's time, you know, it's time, it's game change time, you know. Time to change it up. So so the next 6 months are going to be really to the end of the year. And it can be a good thing. It doesn't have to be a bad thing, or people go, oh my God, like more healing. But it's a good thing, because the more that you're releasing and healing, the more freer you become, right? I was only thinking of this yesterday. Like, I've never heard a person yet say that has been on their spiritual path and doing this, no matter how much we say it's been excruciating, it's been, you know, rebirth, death and rebirth, dark night of the soul, all of that. But I've never heard one person say they wish they did not take their spiritual path, or they wish they did not take this journey, because there's just always, no matter how difficult it is, there's that sense